What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so before I get into this video, I want to give a big shout out to the brother Robert Mason coming through with the donation to the channel via the Cash App. Much respect to him for showing love once again to the channel. Things are looking really, really bad for the Golden State Warriors. And I just seen a report, and I can't question the validity of this report because it's coming from Sham Charania, and what he says generally is very accurate. If that's the case, then the Golden State Warriors as we know it may be coming to an end, as apparently everybody on the roster, with the exception of Steph Curry, is reportedly up to be traded. Those are reports. Of course, last night the Warriors suffered the worst defeat in the Steph Curry era. They lost by 36 points to New Orleans Pelicans. They lost 141 to 105. The Warriors fall to 17 and 20 on the year. This is not the Warriors team that we've been accustomed to viewing over the past 10 years. Of course, over the past 10 years, the Warriors have won 4 championships. Over the past 10 years, the Warriors have been to, I believe, 6 NBA Finals. They've been the dominant team in the NBA over the past 10 years. But that dominance is over. Teams don't fear them anymore. Other teams have caught up with them, and they've now surpassed them. And now I see, you can really truly see why Bob Myers got out of there. He got out of there. And now, a really unpopular decision is going to be made. But they're going to have to make this decision. They're going to have to shake up this team. It's not working. Wiggins, I don't know what's going on with Wiggins, man. He hasn't been the same since whatever was going on with him last year caused him to take that long extended leave. He hasn't been the same player. 11 points, 7 points per game, 41% shooting from the floor, 42%, somewhere in that range. Less than 30% from downtown. Last few years he's been around 37, 38% from three with the Warriors, 17, 18 points a game. He's just not giving you the same production. Klay Thompson has stabilized a little bit in his shooting, a little bit, but he's still not the same player. Even Steph Curry, you could argue, is starting to show signs of aging. Early this year, Steph was averaging 30 points a game, 50% shooting from the floor, 44% from three, over a steal a game. Now, after last night's performance, which was very mediocre, I think he only shot 4-13 from the floor, but he's been rather pedestrian last few games. He's having issues with shooting. I don't know if he has an injury or anything. Maybe I wasn't aware of this, but he's now averaging 26.7 points per game, which is, let me look at some of his shooting numbers. He's averaging 26.7 points per game. Now, mind you, last year he averaged 29.4. In 2021, he led the league in scoring 32. In 2016, he led the league in scoring 30.1. He's shooting 44.7% from the floor, so that's way down from what he was shooting before. 39.8% from downtown, which is, he's under 40% shooting now. 0.8 steals. So look, there's a report out that the Warriors reportedly will put everyone but Steph Curry on the trade market. The Golden State Warriors are reportedly in a state of reassessment and openness to major changes following a string of disappointing losses. Sham Charania provided insight into the Warriors' current mindset, revealing that everyone on the team, except for Steph Curry, is potentially on the trade market. So this is what Sham Charania had to say.
Chandler made a point. The mindset in Golden State right now is everyone but Steph Curry is on the table. That's their mindset. Now, realistically, there's an asterisk, right? Like, Klay Thompson, would they want to keep him long-term and keep him in Golden State? I think that's been their hope. They have not been able to reach a contract extension with him. We've talked about it. And Draymond Green just got back from an extension. Those have been their 3 core guys in the front office. They're big fans of Jonathan Kuminga, big fans of Brandon Podziemski. They're big fans of Trace Jackson Davis. But Wiggins and everyone else on that roster except Steph Curry has to be in play for this team. 2 blowout losses in a row. They haven't even been close in these games. And so they're going to be looking to make moves.
The tough part is, if we know this, the other teams know that. They know their value is so low right now. If you're Andrew Wiggins, if you're Draymond, if you're Clay, it's like, what can you even get for them?
The problem also is, like, you want to make moves, you want to be aggressive, but they also don't want, from what I'm told, they don't want to take long-term money back. You don't want to take another massive contract back. So you think about a guy like Zach LaVine,
can't do it,
who's making 3 years. He's got almost $140 million after this season. And honestly, hanging over all this is Steve Kerr's contract status as well. He's an expiring contract. There's no sign of a new deal as of right now for him either. Wow. And so this Warriors team, they're teetering right now. As we're just under a month until the trade deadline, I think they will be active. Everyone but Steph Curry has to be in play.
Like I said, I'm not a Warriors fan. I know I have a lot of Warriors fans subscribe to me. But realistically, and you're seeing that there's no improvement. This isn't working. I get the feeling that when you look at what Draymond Green, the way he's been acting out, I also get the impression that, and he mentioned Steve Kerr, I think this team is kind of like just run its course. It's run its course. I think they're probably just tuned out Steve Kerr at this point. Guys are, I don't think this team is together at all. And some of this you can blame, I'm sorry, but you can blame this on the Draymond Green, Jordan Poole thing, man. It's been an inevitable decline in this team since that happened. They were defending NBA champions at that time. The punch heard around the world, seen around the world because of the TMZ tape shortly thereafterwards. It's been a slow, inevitable decline with the Warriors since then. A lot of it's age. To a certain extent, a lot of it's other teams have caught up with the Warriors. Most definitely. This is a young man's game. You know what I'm saying? And only a few special teams have been able to rise to the occasion and perform well outside of their prime years. The Bulls come to mind, right? With their last title. But that's rare. Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. Like I said, Steph is starting to show possibly some signs of aging. He'll be, 36? Coming up in March, I think. So, I mean, if you blow the whole thing up, what happens? Because there had to be a rebuilding process, right? So, what is Steph's contract anyway? Didn't he just sign a extension? Okay, so he signed all the way through 2025-26. Yeah, so Steph's not going anywhere. He's making almost $60 million that year. Yeah, so Steph's not going anywhere anytime soon. So I guess the only thing you can try to do is perhaps blow the team up in some ways, and this year just be a loss. Hope for some success in free agency. But, like they said, they're not trying to take on big contracts, so not right now. So I don't know, Warriors fans, man. You might have to get used to some lean years, man. That's what it is, man. When you're a fan of a franchise, this is what tests you. This is what tests you, right? It's great when the team is winning, but there are gonna be years like some lean years. Some years, man, you could be, as a fan, sitting there with your plate with 2 goddamn porterhouse steaks and some big ass pile of mashed potatoes with gravy and beans and French apple pie and all this type shit, right? But then there's some years, man, when you look at that plate and it's 4 beans on that motherfucker. 4 beans and a 5-day-old piece of crusty bread. You got to make do with that. Well, we'll see, man. I mean, I think they got some good pieces that they can keep. Kuminga, but like I said, realistically, I don't know if you'll trade Clay. But then again, Clay's looking for a big. I don't know. This is why Bob Myers left. This is exactly why he left, so he didn't have to make these decisions because he saw the writing on the wall. But anyway, tell me what you guys think.